Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com, live from Sienna Fence, and it's time for Armen and Levack's celebrity football picks and the records on the year. I am 8-2. The celebrities are 8-2. And Levack, at least you're 500 at 5-5.
I did. I had to scrap. I got my way up to 500. I'm proud of myself. The team has worked well. You know, we committed to tackling and not making stupid penalties, and we got back to 500.
Congratulations, Coach. And this week's celebrity on Armen and Levack Celebrity Picks, Freddie Coleman from 10 to 1, right here on ESPN Radio 104.5 The Team. What's up, Freddie?
Everything is good, but you can't have celebrities beating you guys at football picks. That's just bad for the show, by the way.
In our defense, the first two were weathermen, so we feel like they had the inside knowledge as to what was going to happen with field conditioning.
Whoa. You can't allow weathermen to take care of you guys when it comes to celebrity picks. That can't happen.
Hey, the weather guys knew their stuff, man. I was pretty impressed.
Well, if they can try to predict the unpredictable, they should be pretty good at the National Football League pick, so you're probably right on that one.
And considering I watched the forecast, they were way better at picking football. I'm just putting it out there.
That's why I leave that stuff alone. The fact that they want to do that and have a baseball batting average of 3 for 10 and deal with all that foolishness, no thank you. They can have that.
All right, boys, let's get going. Freddie Coleman, this week's celebrity guest. And here we go. We're going to do 5 games, and we are going to pick them straight up, not against the spread, straight up. So Texans at Giants, 1 o'clock kick on Sunday. Levack.
I am going to shock the world and go with the 0-2 Giants.
No way!
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Texans, and I think they're a fake 2-0. I liked what I saw out of the Giants last week. They simplified the offense. They gave the team a chance to catch up to it. There is a lot of issues with injuries, but I feel like the Giants are good enough to beat the Texans.
And I think that the Giants might be or the Texans might be a fake 2-0, but the Giants are a real 0-2. And that offense still needs more time. And J.J. Watt going up against a rookie in Weston Richburg. Eli Manning is not going to have time. Eli Manning is going to throw picks. Give me the Texans. Who you got, Freddie?
I'm going to take the Texans as well because they have the best defensive player in the National Football League in J.J. Watt. And even though Ryan Fitzpatrick, let's be honest, he's a journeyman quarterback, but he knows that system pretty well that Bill O'Brien has been able to put in. They'll run the ball effectively because Arian Foster has back-to-back 100-yard rushing games to start the season. The Giants are going to play a little bit better because they could not play any worse than the fumbles and the mistakes they had last week. But that running game has to help the Giants. If the Texans stop the run, I like the Texans beating the Giants.
All right, next game, Chargers at Bills. Levack.
I'm going to shock the world again. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I love the Chargers. I think they're a really good team, but I think they're more of a finesse team. I think Buffalo is the kind that we're going to win in the trenches. They're going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock. And a West Coast team coming east. I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, and I love the momentum that Doug Marrone and this group has. If Buffalo is going to have a good year, then they have to win early like they're doing. I really like the fact that they're at home. The fans are feeling it. Let's go, Buffalo. What do you got, Freddie?
I got San Diego. I hate to burst your bubble, guys. I love Buffalo's defense is terrific. Kyle Williams is one of the best underrated defensive tackles that doesn't get a lot of credit. I think they'll be able to run the ball effectively. But Phillip Rivers loves situations like this. He loves the fact that people don't think that San Diego's going to go across country, have a 1 o'clock start, 10 a.m. time in terms of body time for San Diego. He'll rally that team. Mike McCoy is a terrific head coach. I got the Chargers going in an old AFL matchup, going to Buffalo and beating the Bills.
I love how Freddie brings up a negative with the West Coast time and turns it into a positive. You see how he did that?
Yeah, he's good like that. I like it.
Good stuff. All right.
I do what I can. You always got to accentuate the positive no matter what.
Denver Broncos at Seattle Seahawks. Levack.
Now, see, this one, I got to tell you, I know Seattle is impossible to beat at home. There's something about losing a Super Bowl and then getting back your prime target in Wes Welker. Plus, I need to make up ground. We made it clear. I'm going to go with Denver in Seattle with what I would call a pretty big upset.
That's crazy. I think it's so difficult to win in Seattle. I'm going with the Seahawks. Freddie?
You know, people talk about how difficult it is to play at CenturyLink Field, but remember this. Last year, Tampa Bay had a 24-0 lead and let that game get away. San Francisco in the championship game, they outplayed Seattle the first 2.5 quarters, and the Arizona Cardinals were the only team to win at CenturyLink Field last year in the regular season. But I think Seattle being ornery after losing to San Diego last week, I can only imagine what practice was like this week getting ready for that game. They want to let everybody know that they're still the biggest, baddest boys in the jungle, specifically the Denver Broncos. I like Seattle winning at home in this one.
Freddie, is Seattle going to be shook from last week's loss? How much is that going to affect them the rest of the season?
It's not going to affect them at all because I want people to realize that the San Diego Chargers made the playoffs last year. We're not talking about the Seattle Seahawks losing to the Oakland Raiders and getting the brakes beat off of them. If that happened, then I would worry about a confidence thing with the with the Seattle Seahawks. But the Chargers are a good football team. It's tough to win on the road in the National Football League. I think when it's all said and done, the Chargers will give an orneriness that the Seattle Seahawks to get their attention. Pete Carroll did not have to work them as hard in practice to get their attention. I don't think this is going to affect this team the rest of the season.
All right, and then let's go Lions-Packers. Lions at Packers, our fourth game. Levack.
This is a tough game for me. I think this might be one of the hardest ones to pick because when you look at Aaron Rodgers, when you look at how good Matthew Stafford looks this year so far, I got to tell you, I think Carolina is that good, which is why I think Detroit is better than a lot of people think. I'm going to take Detroit.
Oh, man, I'm going to take the Lions for the same reason. Stafford, Calvin Johnson, they have so many weapons, and they're going to be able to use them against the Packers defense. Freddie?
I got the Packers because they've beaten this team 9 out of the last 10 times with Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, and 15 of the last 17 times these two teams have gotten together. I think the Packers are clearly in the heads of the Detroit Lions, and the Lions can talk all they want that we're going to be a better team, but they really look at the Green Bay Packers as a measuring stick in that conference, in that division. I understand why, but they have not been able to overcome them. So I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers. I think that defense will make enough plays, and I think they'll beat the Lions once again.
All right, boys, and then Monday Night Football, Chicago Bears at the New York Jets. Levack.
The Jets, they're so undisciplined, as Armen loves to point out every chance we get to talk about them. I look at Kyle Fuller and how good he was filling in for Peanut Tillman, and I think, God, I wish the Jets had like 12 draft picks last year so they could have traded up and picked him instead of another safety. The secondary of the Bears is good enough to shut down the Jets. Are the Jets' corners and safeties good enough to shut down the Bears? I don't know. I am taking the Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears, too, especially with Alshon Jeffries or Brandon Marshall going up against Antonio Allen. It's going to be another big test for him, and we know what he did in his first test against A.J. Green in the preseason. The Jets just make me nervous right now. Rex Ryan makes me nervous right now. Chicago Bears at the Meadowlands. Freddie.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys on this one because I would love to say that the Jets would rise up and play extremely well at home on Monday Night Football. Rex Ryan is going to have them ready, but to all your points, when you have two big-time weapons on the outside in Brandon Marshall and also Alshon Jeffrey, can't forget about Martellus Bennett at tight end and Matt Forte at the running back position. I think that defense under Mel Tucker will get better. I'm with you. I like the Bears over the Jets in this one on Monday Night Football.
It's the only one we all agree on, just so we're clear. The Bears are the only one, and that's partially my fault for going out on a limb on a few. When you have a sizable gut like mine, Freddie, you have to go with it now and again.
You know, what do you have to lose? You're already behind in the standings. So if you're able to take some chances and rise up, hey, it's going to benefit you when it's all said and done. At least you hope so.